All right, hello. Thank you everyone for joining us today. You are here with the Healthy Schools campaign at our webinar, The Financial Case for Green Cleaning. So I want to thank you all for taking your time out of your afternoon or morning, whatever it may be, and joining us. I'd also like to say thank you to today's sponsor, Envirox, A Healthier Way to Clean. They've also been an active participant on Healthy Schools campaign, quick and easy guide to green cleaning schools for a number of years. So thank you for them, their ongoing, their continued, and their current support of the work to green America's schools. As I mentioned today, we're speaking about the financial case for green cleaning. This is the fifth of a series of webinars that we have done this summer. They are all on our website, so if you want to see our past webinars, you can go to greencleanschools.org and you can access them there. As well, if you want to see today's at a later point, it will be archived, so get back onto our website by the end of the week and you will be able to download the slides and view the webinar. Before we get started, a little bit more information. Be part of the conversation. Join us. You can follow us on Twitter at Healthy Schools Campaign or at Healthy Schools. Not only will you have information about green cleaning, but also the latest on our schools, environment, education, and a lot of the work that we're doing to promote healthier schools, healthier students. And today on our green cleaning program, tweet Green Clean 2012 to be part of the conversation. And we love to be always engaged on these discussions, whether it's now, today, tomorrow, or down in the future. Today's webinar is going to run for approximately 1 hour. As I mentioned, a recording will be available. The presentations will be downloadable. So if you're missing it or if you want to share with your friends, do not worry. And then finally, we have a very short survey that when you exit out, please take a moment to fill out. I believe it might be a 3-question survey. It just helps us do a better job of making sure that we're presenting the right information to our audience, so please take the time to fill that survey out. Also, the last 15 minutes of our survey, we are going to have a Q&A session, so if you have questions, please get them ready. We're going to take those questions through a chat. There is a questions box on the bottom right of your screen. Type them in, ask them. We will do our best to get to as many questions as possible. Today's speakers, I'm going to be doing a more detailed introduction of all of them, but just so you know, I am Mark Bishop with Healthy Schools Campaign. We will also be having Andy Lee Marnicio from Blackhawk Intermediate School District and Patrick Pizzo at East Meadow School District. And Andy and Patrick are both past winners of the Green Cleaning Awards for schools and universities. Which is done by American School and University, the Green Cleaning Network, and the Healthy Schools Campaign. If you are a school or if you're a distributor that works with schools or a manufacturer that works with distributors who work with schools, check out the award application. It's at asumag.com/Green Cleaning Award. You can see it there on your screen. Download the application and get your school recognized for the great work that they're doing. The application is due September 7th, so please check it out. So now a little bit about Healthy Schools Campaign. For those of you who are new to us, Healthy Schools Campaign is a not-for-profit organization. We're based here in Chicago, but our programs are national and regional in scope. We work on the intersection of asthma and obesity, and trying to, where we believe in the common sense notion that a healthier student is going to be a more successful student. And green cleaning is an important component of student health. In 2006, we published the Quick and Easy Guide to Green Cleaning in Schools, and later this month, or later next month, we will be publishing our 4th version of the guide. It's all about education and engagement. We have an extensive website, communications around it, and we do everything we can to promote to school stakeholders the importance and the value of better, higher quality, more sustainable cleaning programs. And to do that, we engage with dozens of organizations who are our friends, our partners, and they help us extend our reach, whether it's our teacher friends at labor unions or school administrators or other environment and cleaning advocates. We are always looking to engage with as many organizations to extend the message. So real quick, we're going to get the main speakers started very soon. But let me talk a little bit about what green cleaning is and how we see it. So when we talk about green cleaning, we talk about cleaning to protect health without harming the environment. It's a very important, it's a short definition, but we think it's very important and very deliberate in the order that we're talking about. Cleaning, we clean to protect health. We keep our schools clean not because we want to have shiny floors, not because we want to have orderly desks, but we want to make sure that the occupants, the students, the teachers, administrators, the people who are running our schools, that we all have a healthy environment so students can succeed and so schools can achieve what their goals are, which are to educate our students. Green cleaning takes it a step further about looking at cleaning in methods that don't harm the environment, both from the indoor environment, ensuring that we're reducing exposures to potentially toxic chemicals and making sure we have healthy indoor air quality, as well as the external environment where we want to make sure we are leaving a healthy and a sustainable world for our kids. And why do we focus in schools? And I'll just talk about 3 main points. But we focus in schools because we see education as a priority. We put many resources at a federal, state, and local level into our schools, and we have a responsibility to make sure our students succeed and that we are maintaining our buildings in a way that is sustainable fiscally as well as environmentally. Second, schools are different. Many people, they're different from houses. They're different from office buildings. There are not that many buildings that we have to have 30-plus people in each individual room. So there are special needs and special ways of maintaining schools that don't necessarily apply to other schools. So we have to be extra vigilant with schools and making sure that we have healthy learning environments. And finally, kids are more susceptible and they have different behaviors than adults. As adults, we don't have recess time where we go outside and roll around in the mud and bring in all those potential contaminants into our indoor environments. We don't lick our desks. We don't do things where we have hand-to-mouth contact points all over the place. Students are different. They also have different developmental systems that are not as mature. So we have a greater responsibility of making sure the environment for our students is healthy and safe. So, but to the specifics of today's presentations, we're talking about making the financial case for green cleaning. And the way we see it when we talk to schools, when we talk to advocates, when we talk to policymakers, we see 4 main misperceptions about green cleaning that are going to be addressed today. Chemicals cost more. Expensive equipment isn't necessary. Labor costs can increase. Inefficiencies may actually decrease. The reality is none of these are true. Fortunately for us, we've got 2 speakers with us who are going to talk about these issues and tell us about making the financial case for green cleaning in our schools. Now, before I introduce our first speaker, Andy Lee, we are going to ask a quick poll question. So let me ask a quick question of everybody out there. So, everyone, how many different cleaning chemicals are used in your schools? Tell me, 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 10, 11 plus, or you don't know. This becomes an important issue, as one of the issues about making the financial case is proper management of our cleaning inventories and how we can reduce that. Now, I will introduce Andy Lee. Andy is the head custodian at Black Hawk Intermediate School in Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. She has been with Black Hawk School District for 17 years, and 15 of those have been as head custodian. Under Andy's leadership, Black Hawk was chosen to receive the Grand Award of the 2009 Green Cleaning Awards. Andy's green cleaning efforts have also been recognized by several local newspapers and the Facility Management Association. So let's just take a moment to see the answers to the questions. Let's see, it looks like there's a pretty broad spread of 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 10, 11 plus. So it looks like for the audience there's a lot of improvements that we all can make, and hopefully we'll all learn a little bit. So, Andy, are you on the line?
Yes, I am, Mark.
Okay, wonderful, Andy. We're so glad you made it. So, Andy, I'm going to give the floor over to you.
All right, thank you. And I want to thank everybody for joining in. as Mark said, I'm Andy Lee, and I've been with the Blackhawk School District for over 20 years, and I had custodian now for about 17. And we've gone from the original glug method when I first started in this business to green cleaning, and the ride has been awesome. Next slide. Okay. When we made the decision to implement a green cleaning program, several factors were involved. One factor was that we wanted to be proactive rather than reactive, knowing that green cleaning was coming on to the area, it was going to become an issue. And then another factor was our concern about cost. Could we go green on our ever-shrinking budget? Well, as it says here, it's not about being green, it's about being smart. So yes, we found out we could. After gathering large amounts of information, with talking with multiple vendors, we decided we were going to move forward, implement the green program. And we decided not to just jump right in both feet, but to bring it on slowly over a couple of years and test certain products in only one school and then bring them on board to the other schools. And it was easier to bring our employees on board with us that way. Next slide. So now comes the answer to, does green cost more? Well, green cleaning does not cost schools any more money than conventional cleaning. On the contrary, many schools have saved money by making a switch from conventional cleaning to green cleaning. Most of their estimated cost savings are between 10 and 20%. Next slide. Part of the cost savings advantage is incorporated into packaging of certified green cleaning supplies. They're usually from an automated dilution equipment. Most certified green cleaning supplies are highly concentrated, come with specially engineered dilution control packaging or equipment. This guarantees all products are used at the appropriate concentration. This makes a strong case for the cost savings, but this largely depends on what one is switching from. Here at Blackhawk, we were already using a dilution control system on our everyday products, so our savings there was not as high as it could be for others if a dilution control system were not already being utilized. If your current number of products are being used is excessive and they can be replaced by a smaller group of core products, then a significant cost savings can be realized. We did, not on our everyday products, but on our other specialty products, were overloaded with multiple different products that did the same thing. We pretty much eliminated all of those now. The number of products used at Blackhawk Clean are very minimal. We probably use 3 products here at Biz for everyday cleaning and even for project work compared to what we used to use. If new products are implemented in conjunction with a comprehensive green clean program, it reduces the number of cleaning products required and saves money. Next slide. Another savings is due in part to labor. Labor is a large part of our budget, and if we can save time and labor, we can save quite a bit of money. So we've saved quite a bit from going to restroom cleaning machines where we just go in, spray everything down with a pressure washer, vacuum everything up, wipe a few things off, move on to the next restroom. We use auto scrubbers in everywhere we can put them. You dispense your product, run the machine clean, suck up the dirty water and product, and the floor is dry. We use backpack vacuums. They've saved us quite a bit because now it's easier to vacuum steps and hallways than it is to dust mop them. And we're not putting dirt into the air, so it's not landing on ledges and walls and baseboards and not needing cleaned back up. But I think we found here that our biggest savings has to be with the twister pads because there's no finish with these. There's no sealer needed, no stripper needed to strip the floors down. So you're saving on a lot of the labor. The auto scrubber labor remains the same with twister pads. The pads do cost more than conventional pads, but there's less slip on the twisted floors. There's no residue on steps, landings, doors, and cove face. So you're saving a lot in labor there. And then another big favorite for us has been microfiber. From the microfiber cleaning cloths, which in some cases require no product whatsoever to use to clean, to the microfiber dust mops, which require no dust mop treatment. They outlast our old rental mops. And if the floor is wet from rain or snow residue, the dust mops will plow right through that stuff and keep on going. They don't roll over, and you can continue to use the dust mops. And the cleaning cloths, microfiber cleaning cloths, they last much longer than any other cleaning cloths we have ever purchased. Next slide. And there are added bonuses. The savings that you get from your better indoor air quality. So we have less asthma attacks. We have fewer job injuries due to toxic chemicals, less damage to the facilities because of spills or misuse of toxic products. Next slide. Our indoor air quality, being as how it is improved, it saves on school absences. Green products will most likely save money with diminished school absences and improved employee health. Next slide. So, in conclusion, I'd like to say that in the future, I think the cost of green products will continue to go down, and I think that's due to the competitiveness of our business. So basically, it's a balancing act. While some elements of green cleaning programs cost more, some elements cost less. It balances it out. An important point to be made about a green cleaning program is that we've been forced to cut our budget, and still we've been required to do more. With the school buildings being used more and the added square footage that we have to clean without the added extra help, it would not be possible without green cleaning. The cost savings from product to labor makes it possible to do more with less. Being as how I'm responsible for the budget within my school, I can honestly say that going back to conventional cleaning is not an option. We simply could not afford it. Next slide. I want to thank you, Mark. I want to thank Healthy Schools Campaign, and I guess I'm going to hand it over to Pat. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Andy. Before we hand it back to Pat, let me ask another question of our audience, and then I will introduce Pat. So our question for our audience is, what do you think is the biggest opportunity? What do you think is the biggest opportunity for cost savings in a green cleaning program? Managing your chemicals, increasing labor efficiencies, reducing energy and water costs, or waste management. And now I would like to introduce Pat. Pat is currently the Director of Facilities and Operations for the East Meadow School District. Since 2008, he's led a department of 117 people in supporting the goals of his district, which include implementation of an award-winning comprehensive green cleaning program. East Meadow District has received the 2010 Grand Award for K-12 schools at the American School and University Green Cleaning Awards. So it is our honor to have Pat with us here today. And let me quickly look at the answer. It looks like half of our audience is saying labor efficiencies is where the biggest opportunity for savings, where a third of people are saying managing chemical inventories, and then a smattering of other answers as well. So that will be interesting, and that I think Pat is going to go into some details around the cost savings of his green cleaning program. So Pat, it is all yours.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Yes, definitely I can go into that in greater detail. I'm glad to see that response. I'd like to follow off on some of the great information provided by the first speaker. Good afternoon. I am Patrick Pizzo, the Director of Facilities and Operations for East Meadow Public Schools, and my presentation is in regard to our comprehensive green cleaning program, which generates savings through energy efficiency and change in process. Next slide, please. The list displayed explains our requirements for a product or procedure to be considered for use by East Meadow schools. We have an initial baseline of products and procedures which we established 4 years ago. Any new item must exceed the performance of the previously used item, be it a procedure or a product. Each one of these 4 components is important to a comprehensive green cleaning program. Any item that generates a cost savings must meet all of our requirements, including efficacy, efficiency, whether the product is truly green, and the impact on our building occupants. We look at this as a departure from the initial behavior of traditional facilities departments. Traditionally, the focus was on efficacy. Products need to work. With budget constraints, it became more important to put a focus on how efficient a product is, and therefore what the financial impact is for any change in product or system. Then, after concerns regarding the impact of products on our students became better known several years ago, our program began to evolve to using the greenest methods possible. And ultimately, indoor environmental quality or occupant comfort needs to be considered. Next slide, please. Okay, this illustration displays that all 4 of these components have the same level of importance. As I moved through my career, a pillar was added as we move forward along the steps to reach the point where we are today. Each of these components is interconnected and must be viewed in a comprehensive manner. To accurately identify the true cost of a program, all information must be part of the analysis. Next slide, please. Each one of the pillars has importance, beginning with efficacy, because ultimately the products need to work effectively to become a part of our program, or really any successful green cleaning program. In the traditional model, cleaning and disinfecting is the primary concern. Unfortunately, traditionally, chemical odors are equated with effective cleaning. This is incorrect. For true efficacy, your cleaning staff needs to disinfect as directed, clean the surface first, avoid chemicals when possible, and understand the problems associated with the overuse of disinfectants. Petrochemicals are almost always not necessary and should be avoided when alternatives are available. Custodial staffs must use the correct methods of cleaning to produce the best result. Process is a large component of the results achieved. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, the next challenge is, how can we meet our efficacy standards at a lower cost? As our focus changed, we set out to maintain our efficacy standard, but to accomplish this at a lower cost. We examined several options, adding only methods that were both effective and able to accomplish tasks at a lower cost, examining both the cost of a product and its impact on procedures. Methods that we have used include new procedures and equipment which eliminate the need for chemicals. Some of these products include diamond pads for terrazzo, ionized water for several functions, steam cleaners for some types of cleaning and disinfecting, and square pad scrubbers for tile floors. There's also a large impact on labor when using diamond pads. Diamond pads polish the actual stone on a terrazzo floor instead of using wax to produce the shine. Without wax, labor long-term is reduced as buffing is eliminated and the time to clean and restore the shine is greatly reduced. If any water, sand, or snow melting products are tracked into a building, restoring the floor is a simple process. We just need to run our ionized water auto scrubber over the floor and the finish is restored. There is no wax to be damaged. In a similar situation, a traditional program is far more labor-intensive and time-consuming, as well as requiring the use of several chemicals. An example of a change of product would be green wax. When applied correctly, it works as well as traditional wax, but does not yellow, because green wax does not contain styrene. This reduces labor due to the first 2 coats becoming a sealer, which can remain for up to 3 years. As this product tends to dry faster and is also low in VOCs as an added benefit, recoating can be completed in shorter intervals between coats. Next slide, please. The understanding of cost savings needs to include more effective solutions for lighting. LED lighting provides approximately a 78% savings on utility costs, but the impact on labor also needs to be quantified, as LED lights last about 10 times as long as conventional lighting in exterior applications. Savings on labor is substantial. When the reduction in labor is analyzed as a component of the cost for a conversion, these fixtures, when lit 10 hours a night for 365 days a year, will last approximately 14 years, while bulbs used in conventional exterior lighting will need to be changed under the same conditions about every 8 months. Also, the light of an LED exterior light, it does not degrade the same way that traditional lights do, where they get that yellowing. So you get a truer light for the duration of the time that the LED light is working. Next slide, please. Some of the cost savings realized through improved process and equipment include reduction in the use of stripper, which is a harmful chemical not appropriate for school use. Through our program, we have completely eliminated the use of stripper for all floor surfaces. Previously in our district, we had spent nearly $15,000 a year on stripper. This has been accomplished by use of a square pad scrubber instead of a conventional scrubber and chemicals. Also, green wax, on years when there is not a need to strip all the way down to the tile, can be scrubbed with a conventional machine using a black pad and water. Again, no chemicals. We have reduced the amount of wax that we purchased each year by over 49%. We had previously spent over $12,000 a year in purchasing wax. Savings are achieved through our change in process, attributed in large part to the fact that green wax is not yellow and the base coat only needs to be removed after 3 years. This reduces our product and labor costs each summer, since we only need to scrub and recoat as opposed to moving all the wax. Baseboard cleaner has been almost completely eliminated, as we no longer have heavy buildup of wax associated with the old system. When we do need to remove buildup, baseboard cleaner is no longer necessary with green wax. Buffing chemicals have been eliminated as well, as our quarter terrazzo floors are maintained in a chemical-free fashion through the use of our diamond pad system. To reshine with a diamond pad system, a finer grit pad is used with water. This needs to be done much less often than what is required for a traditional wax and buff system. Our reduction in window cleaning product cost is over 77%, as we currently use ionized water for this function. The cost of ionized water units have been dispersed over 5 years to come up with a fair point of comparison, which was a component of our analysis. Okay, next slide, please. Some of our strategies that the district has employed resulting in cost savings include a change to green certified foaming hand soap. The foaming hand soap allows for substantially larger number of washes per cartridge. This has resulted in a large savings for what had previously been an expenditure of approximately $40,000 a year. We have also achieved the small savings on paper products through better dispensers, which contain recycled paper. A switch from leasing treated mops to purchasing washable microfiber cloth and mops has resulted in a savings of over 10%. And we have reduced the cost for polyurethane by using low VOC water-based products used in conjunction with an applicator system, which reduces the quantity of the product used. Next slide, please. Organic treatments for use on fields can also result in a cost savings for a district. While upfront costs during a conversion from a traditional system to an organic system are, in the first year, roughly cost neutral, as the program is fully implemented, a savings will be achieved. By year 3, we estimate a savings will be generated with a savings of 24.38% by year 5. The reason for the reduction in cost is that organic treatments treat the soil, while traditional products are designed to eliminate everything but the grass. So once the damage to the soil has been reversed by conversion to an organic program, by creating conditions that are advantageous for grass to grow naturally, the need for chemical applications is reduced. Traditional programs include pre-emergent and at least 2 fertilizer applications and a post-emergent, while organic treatment consists of corn gluten, or organic fertilizer, compost tea, and lime, applied in our case over a 6-step process. The amount of fertilizer is reduced in an organic program as compost tea applications are liquid and not granular, as is common for traditional fertilizer programs. Traditional programs also create conditions favorable to grubs, which may lead to a greater need for grub control, which is another pesticide. The problems of grubs are reduced by the use of organic treatments, although the potential savings is not a component of my analysis. We have included a slight reduction in the cost of irrigation, as we have noticed a decrease in the amount of water needed to maintain our organic system. All of these cost savings are derived from the actual process we use on our fields in East Meadow as compared to a comparable traditional program. Next slide, please. Here's a brief view of what we have achieved. On this slide, we show that we have reduced costs through lighting, change in process, a reduced volume of supplies needed through labor savings, and from costs avoided due to more effective process. In all, we estimate that our program produces a total savings of over $270,000 a year. Next slide, please. There are other means of achieving savings for a district, some of which we have employed are performance bonds, which can help a district move rapidly in the correct direction at a cost which is then recouped through savings achieved. Another option would be to complete many of these items that can be achieved on a performance bond through an effective in-house preventive maintenance program. The best method for us has been to complete as many tasks with our in-house staff as possible and use performance bonds for larger tasks which do not reoccur short term. An example of that would be preventive maintenance tasks such as changing steam traps. Next slide, please. Here's some important information regarding a safe and healthy school. As stated by Frumpkin, Geller, Rubin, and Nodvin in 2006, a safe and healthy school environment does more than benefit student health. It also improves academic performance and morale. It does more than protect students. It also safeguards teachers and staff. Next slide, please. We believe the condition of the physical environment has an impact on students in several ways, and here's a quote which examines that point. IEQ factors, in turn, could influence health outcomes of students or teachers, which could influence students' performance directly or through effects on attendance through impaired teaching. IEQ factors might also influence performance through discomfort or distraction or through thermal, visual, acoustical, or olfactory effects that reduce performance. Next slide, please. Okay, this is our current paradigm in East Meadow. Student health is paramount. The risks have been identified. Energy efficiency is needed to address potential budget shortfalls. Superior products need to be demanded from vendors. Labor costs must be managed wisely. Productivity cannot be wasted. Lighting products which will last longer decrease labor and create opportunities for savings. Next slide, please. Another thing that's important to mention is that all of our estimates are all scalable. We break this down onto unit costs, so it applies to both small and large organizations. Okay, and what we've also been able to put together is in the future is what to look for in the future. We have identified this acronym to explain our goals moving forward. Learn everything you can about green cleaning and technology, then implement the plan. Evaluate the plan for strengths and weaknesses. Acquire the input of all stakeholders, including teachers, staff, and the public. Formalize procedures so everyone is on the same page. Remember, there are always new innovations which may amend your plan. In closing, I'd like to thank you and wish everyone good luck with their programs.
Great. Thank you so much, Pat. I really, truly appreciate your time. We are going to move into the Q&A session, but before we do, just one quick reminder. Both Andy and Pat were past award winners of the Green Cleaning Awards for schools and universities. Look to your school, look to your distributors, apply for the award. Go to asumag.com/Green Cleaning Award. Download the application and see if your school can be part of the winning team. We would love to see your schools apply. And remember, the deadline for applications this year is September 10th. So we'd love to see you. So now we're going to move on to our Q&A section. If you do think of a question later, or if you'd like to even do it right now, you can send it through email or even send it through Twitter on with the hashtag GreenClean2012. I'm going to now hand it over to my colleague Alex Scheibel to go through the questions.
Great. Thank you, Mark, and thank you to both our speakers for sharing the great work that you're both doing in your schools. So we've had a lot of questions come in, so please feel free to keep sending them in as we're doing the Q&A session. So we're going to dive right in. First question, which either Pat or Andy, I think, could share their perspective on. How do you deal with resistance or fears by custodial staff to green cleaning programs because they are perceived as requiring less labor, thus threatening to jobs?
I can answer that if.
Great, go for it, Pat.
I know in my district we never run out of tasks to do. While we do decrease labor through our green cleaning program, we also have expanded into the preventative maintenance area. So there's always other things that we can do to move the building forward. We haven't taken an approach of decreasing cost and decreasing people. Our approach has been to provide a better product for our students.
Great. Thank you so much, Pat.
And I would just like to add in with the This is Market Health campaign, the work that we've been doing with labor unions around the country. We're looking, the American Federation of Teachers and the National Education Association look to green cleaning as not just a matter of providing a healthier, better learning environment for students, but really an opportunity to provide a better educated workforce, a better trained workforce, and a workforce that's going to do a better job for the students and for the schools. So we're looking at it from a labor perspective as being able to be a more trained, better performing workforce. So from a labor perspective, we're constantly seeing the positive sides of green cleaning being communicated.
Great, thank you. So next question is for Andy. What kinds of flooring can you use these twister pads on? And can you share your experience with using them?
Okay, what type of?
I think in your presentation, Andy, you mentioned twister pads.
Yes, they're diamond encrusted pads. And we actually, I have very little terrazzo here in this building, but we use it strictly on VCT floors. I just can't say enough about, what it does for a floor, how easy it is to keep a floor shine, instead of as quickly as you can auto scrub, that's how quickly you can clean the floor and shine it in one step.
Great, thank you. And I know, Pat, you use the diamond pads as well, right?
Yes, yeah.
And could you speak a little bit about your experience using them?
Oh, absolutely. We have extensive terrazzo in our schools, so we use the diamond pads on the terrazzo to eliminate the use of any chemicals, and then clean the floor with an ionized water scrubber. So even on that end, we're eliminating chemicals. We use in the classrooms on the tile floors. We use the square pad scrubber there. We don't. That's so for us the diamond pads are for the terrazzo floors.
Great, thank you. And a follow-up question, since you mentioned the ionized water, we have somebody that wants to know if you can talk about your experience with ionized water cleaning systems and whether you see these products as being cost-effective.
Yes, the upfront cost on the units are higher. So that's something that's the reason why I mentioned the caveat in my presentation about we spread out the cost over 5 years to make an accurate comparison. What we do is we have a range of chemicals. We have to use the right tool for the right job. Ionized water I think is excellent for a scrubber, for an application on a scrubber, because you're eliminating chemicals in the hallway, and that's just what you're doing on a regular basis. It also works for the handheld units for glass. We don't really use it for anything beyond glass. I don't know if that's appropriate in the school environment to go beyond glass with that. For residential applications, it works well for other tasks. But for us, we try to focus that on glass, and I think it's the best glass cleaner available.
Great, thank you. And then this question I think is specifically for Andy, but Pat, if you have input on it, please feel free to jump in. Andy, you mentioned reduction in school absenteeism as one of the outcomes of your program, and we had a couple people wondering if you actually track this or if it's just anecdotal that you've heard stories that you've seen decreases in student absenteeism.
Well, no, actually we kept track of it. When we started the green cleaning program, probably maybe 6 months into it or so, I got together with the nurse in the building, and we kept track of through the entire school year. And so we were able to prove that with the green cleaning, we had lowered the absenteeism, and then we then changed nurses, and we got a new nurse, and her and I kept track again, only she was also kind enough to keep track of the asthma attacks, and they were also down too.
That's great. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, let's see. Here's another question. Either speaker, feel free to answer it. To begin the change over to green products on floors, is it necessary to strip the previous coatings before application?
What did oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Pat. Go ahead. Go ahead, Pat.
Yeah, was it talking about with green wax?
Right, correct.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yes, you would have to completely remove the previous product that was applied and kind of build back from the tile again.
Great, thank you. Andy, did you want to add your input as well?
Well, actually, I was going to say just the same thing. You have to go down to the beginning and start new. We found that when we tried to apply the green floor finish on top of a conventional finish, it seemed to peel apart, did not want to stay.
Okay, great. And then a very specific question for Pat. Pat, what's the total square foot area that you serve in your school district? If you know it offhand.
Yeah, actually I do. 1.4 million square feet.
Great, thank you. And can you speak a little bit about how you calculated your savings and what tools you used to come up with that really fantastic breakdown of where you're seeing the cost savings in your program?
Yes, that was off of my comprehensive report that I put together, and what I did is I came up with a spreadsheet for each product, and really the only way to do an accurate comparison that we were able to come up with is to really look at what was existing, break it down into really so you could really kind of get a handle on it really break it down to a unit cost so you can make it scalable. And then we did the switch over and just did a comparison side to side. So it was very, very intensive. It took me many months to put together and a lot of research in the past years because we wanted to make sure that we had the old numbers accurate to really get from a starting point. So it was a lot of research and a lot of data entry, but it's all now calculated on spreadsheets, and I have it broken down by building, traditional quantity per building, the actual cost. So whatever actual numbers were available, and we were able to really kind of track that. Is entered into this. So these are all real numbers. This is not estimates. This is actual information that we really were able to quantify the validity of it.
Pat, if I may follow up on that question. So with the spreadsheets that you created, do you feel that you have, or from the work that you've done, you could create more generic tools that would be applicable to other schools, or is it so highly personal or so highly customized to your situation it would be very challenging to build off of your work for other school districts?
No, it was designed to be a document that could have further application. With the spreadsheets where there's calculations and I have the individual schools, You would just need to input the information for whatever district was being evaluated. Like I said, it's all scalable, up or down.
Well, my guess is that's something that the audience would be interested in as well as us.
Yes, Pat, as soon as you mentioned that, we got multiple comments saying that people love your spreadsheets.
Yeah, that's actually that's kind of that's the scaled down version of what is actually the cover of a 30-page report that I took, and just kind of wanted to highlight the individual items. Like I said, there's a detailed breakdown that really quantifies every number on there. I wouldn't put that number on there unless if we were able to prove it. So like I said, it was months and months of research to really get that right.
Right, that's really fantastic. Great, so I will move along with questions. Can either of you speak about how do you clean locker room showers with a green cleaning program, especially with concerns around athlete's foot, flu germs, etc.?
Well, I can say for us, we clean them with a power washer with a restroom cleaning, no-touch cleaning system and a quaternary disinfectant in it. And we just hose them down, squeegee them, vacuum up any excess water, and walk away.
Great, thank you. Pat, do you have anything else?
I think that's really an effective method. We have steam vacs, things such as that. There's also disinfectants that are of greener persuasion that you can use in areas where you need to disinfect. But you would like to limit the chemical use as much as possible by the use of a power washer and also a steam cleaning system.
Great, thank you. So another question is, how do you educate parents in the school community about your green cleaning efforts?
Well, in my case, I spoke with all the students in each classroom. I took each classroom and stopped in and talked to them. And then I spoke at several PTO meetings when we first started our green cleaning program, so that we could bring everyone. The children knew what was going on, and the parents knew what was going on, and so did the staff. So the PTO meeting was well received. That was a very well received meeting. I did that twice.
Great, thank you. And Pat, yeah. I know you've done, I think what's particularly interesting is the work you've done with teachers also to build buy-in for green cleaning. I don't know if you have anything you'd like to add.
Yes, any kind of outreach that can be done. We really try to incorporate people into the process. When you incorporate people into actually designing the process, they have buy-in to it and they become your advocates. Sometimes the best way to really advance a program is to take the biggest critics and make them part of the committee. Bring them in. Let them come forth with what they would like to challenge you on right up front, and it'll make your process it'll make your system better because you're going to get challenged. One of the things that we do with our green cleaning team and with our outreach is we actually encourage people to challenge us and to come up with new ideas that we should investigate. The only way you're going to get better is by really striving to get better and answering the tough questions. Is nothing worse than a committee full of people who all agree. We really and we go out and I meet with the teachers through the Right to Know training, let them know what's going on, ask what their concerns are, and try to come back with answers with things that they bring up. And we meet with the community through a safety committee monthly. And I have an open door policy. Anybody from the PTA who would like to speak with me, they can come in at any time. We have a very good relationship with the PTAs throughout the district.
Great, thanks. And on sorry.
I would love to ask a question. I know yesterday I spoke to Andy, and Andy mentioned that one of the challenges of her school was transitioning towards greener and better equipment, which was phased in over a regular cycle of new purchases. But the question for Pat is, you showed a lot of areas where you're saving money. One of the neutral areas seemed to be in paper products. Are there other areas? Are there areas in your green cleaning program where you feel that are adding costs, but are reasonably because of the increase of health or a better improvement in environment, and are a reasonable portion of your to maintain as part of your program?
Yeah, there are things. I put the paper products on there just to show that we thought it was just a responsible thing to do, and it was not everything. Everything we do isn't just about savings. There has to be that balance. Yeah, there are some things that I noticed. I think I think some districts years ago used to use products for treating weeds. Over by coming through cement, things like that, those aggressive products that would wipe out the weeds. I don't want to mention any name brands. We do a lot of that manually with weed whackers, and yeah, there is an uptick in labor on that. But with New York State, with the way the laws are written, and we agree with the laws, by the way, you couldn't use those products anymore unless if you could classify an emergency, which wasn't really too relevant to the district because we had stopped using those products many, many years ago just because it was the right thing to do. So yeah, you would see a little bit of a labor uptick for weed removal, but that doesn't. I'm not talking about the field. I'm just talking about anything like with like the little weeds that you would get by a sidewalk, things like that.
Great, thanks. Another specific question is related to getting teacher buy-in, and specifically, are you able to get your teachers to keep surfaces clear of clutter and to make it easier for the custodial staff to clean classrooms?
Okay, I guess I could answer that. That's we're here ultimately to support them. So while we try to get that level of cooperation, honestly, we're here to service their needs. So that's something that I don't know if there's a great answer for that. If they feel that's the way they need to maintain their room to address the needs of the students, it's something that we have to work with. Where we try to what our focus is in making sure that they use the proper products for for hand washing with the sinks in the room. We make sure that they don't use any products that contain alcohol or triclosan. That's where our focus is, not really on those other housekeeping issues that may be individual to the teacher's needs.
Great, thank you. Another specific question is wanting to know if you use a permanent sealer or finish when you use the square pad scrubbers.
I could speak to that. We don't. There is a school of thought that you would use a sealer for that to keep you from getting any kind of buildup of dirt in the pores of the natural porous nature of the terrazzo. At this point, we don't. We didn't find a product that we thought was that met with our standards of our green cleaning program, and we haven't identified any adverse effects. We just with the way we've been cleaning and maintaining it. We've had this program for several years now.
Great, thank you. And I think we'll do just one more question and then wrap up a little bit early here. Our last question will be wanting to know how you get buy-in from reluctant school administrators. We have a number of people that have indicated they feel like the biggest barrier in starting their green cleaning program is hesitation on the part of school administrators. And I think you both presented a great case for how green cleaning programs can save money, which could be a very good argument for creating buy-in from school administrators. But people want to know if you could share your experience with getting buy-in from your administration.
Okay, I guess from our perspective here, again, we meet with the principals regularly. I'm a member of cabinet, which is which supports our superintendent here. So again, the more information that you can get, I believe that the information at this point really speaks for itself. And that's the reason why we've looked at things through that what I call the 4 pillars. It meets every need there's really not an argument that can be made against it. It's just a matter of getting that information out. I'm fortunate in this district that I'm able to have the audience to be able to meet with these key people and to be able to make the case, and then the case makes itself once you have that access.
Great, thank you.
Andy?
Andy,
do you have any comments?
Pardon?
Andy, do you have any comments about your effort to get buy-in from school administrators at Blackhawk?
Well, we didn't really have that much of an issue with that when we first started the program. They were kind of letting our building and grounds supervisor make that sort of decision himself. So, and as we've gone on through with the program, and they've started, actually teaching the green, a little bit of green cleaning and green practices and environmentally friendly practices in the classrooms. There really isn't a whole lot of fight with that. We can just, we proved how well the program works, so we can continue to move forward with it.
Great, thank you so much. So I think that's going to wrap it up for the webinar. Thank you to both of our speakers for doing a wonderful job sharing the work that you're doing, and thank you to everybody who was able to join us today. The webinar will be, a recording of it will be posted on our website along with the presenter's slides, and you should get an email on Friday with a link to those to where you can locate the presentation and the webinar. So great. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, and have a wonderful afternoon. Bye-bye.